edition. SuperTalk Hattiesburg 97.3.
All right, before I get to William Carey Wednesday, I had a message about what I was just talking about. Someone sent a message through Facebook. So how do you get away with playing bumper music, which is music that, like right now, AC/DC, coming out of breaks, going into breaks? We pay BMI and ASCAP fees every year. All radio stations have to play any sort of music. I know we're a talk station. That usually surprises people. And every quarter, I have to do a report for BMI. Every once in a while, ASCAP asks for a report just showing what we played, what we didn't play. But yeah, we pay those fees. Anywhere that plays music, like a venue or bar, like I said, stores, it's a blanket fee that they pay yearly. And that kind of just covers everything. But even radio stations have to do that. They have to pay this fee. Facebook has decided not to pay that fee, which is why they pull anything that has copywritten music. And again, it could be a cover. Somebody on there just doing a video of a song. Their AI bots figure out, wait a second, that's a cover of this song. We have to pull it, and it could be in a different key. It's crazy how this technology works, but that's how that works for the person who sent that message. But unfortunately, like I said, some high schools had their live streams pulled just because the music of the stadium bled through the video, and Facebook caught it, and just something to keep in mind. But YouTube, that's the only solution I can suggest. And a lot of schools do that when they have an away game because people can't travel that far and they just want people to be able to watch the games. They don't do it for every game. But I strongly suggest using YouTube as opposed to Facebook. All right, it is Wednesday. That means it's William Carey Wednesday. And today, to talk about the 2025-26 theme for William Carey, Landon Adams, Director of William Carey University's Baptist Student Union. And he's actually in studio. Landon, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. It's great to be here for the first time in person instead of on the other end of a phone.
And I know when I mentioned that to Suzanne Monk, who books all these guests, that we can have more guests in studio, because I like doing the phone interviews, but it's so much better to actually have everyone in studio. So we've been doing this a lot more. I think it's more personable, and I really appreciate your taking the time and coming out today, because I always love finding out what the theme is every year. And I mentioned at the top of the show, there is a difference between the theme and the new Armor Up theme, which people thought, that must be that's basically the Roll Tide, Southern Miss to the top, Hail State for William Carey. And it's about time William Carey got one of those, but there is a difference.
Yes, I think the Armor Up, if I could call it something, it would be a rally cry.
Yes.
Like you're saying, across town, one of our schools, says to the top, we say now Armor Up. It's a rally cry we use for our sporting events, but other things as well. We have some great T-shirts to try to break out into the community to say, hey, look, our new rally cry is Armor Up, taken from Paul's letter to the Ephesians talking about the full armor of God. In fact, that was one of our former themes, and it stuck so well that it became part of the rally cry to armor up. So, yeah.
The irony, I have a bracelet on that my wife was teaching that to her high school class at our church about a month ago, and she got these bracelets. It just happens to be Carey colors, which I noticed when she bought them. It wasn't but it has just the full description of the armor of God. It's like, I'm already ahead of the game. That was before that was announced, too.
The black, white, and red is just an attractive color. I mean, it just is objectively. I say that subjectively as a William Carey employee, and an alumni, but the red, black, and white are always just really great objective colors. So.
It stands out. Well, okay, with that, let's talk about the theme. First off, what is the theme that's selected every year?
Yeah, so every year we have a theme verse. When I was a freshman, when I came to William Carey back in 2011, it was Transformed. So I pulled on campus with my parents, and we're unloading our stuff, going into my dorm, and there were these banners printed everywhere that said Transformed. And that year it was Be Transformed by the Renewing of Your Mind. And every year we've had some theme drawn from Scripture to try to provide a point of clarity around something that we're pursuing. And usually it's made into a more generalized word or two. And so this year the theme verse is from Matthew 23. And Jesus is talking to his disciples. And this is found in Matthew 23. It's also found in Luke, where he's talking about the backwards nature of his kingdom and the upside down expectations that he has instead of what the world has. And he tells them The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. And that comes from Matthew 23:11 and 12. And so the idea is, in Jesus' kingdom that we are supposed to be pursuing, if you want to be great, you have to serve. And that's really the heart cry of Called to Serve. As a university, we're trying to bring a lot of attention to that. We already do a lot of service on multiple levels in different departments all throughout the year. But this year especially, we're bringing a lot of attention to Called to Serve.
And really, you're saying that the Baptist Student Union, that could be your permanent theme, because that's really what the student union does so well, especially in our community.
Yeah, I'm the Baptist Student Union director. We have BSUs across the state. I believe, if my count is not wrong, 24 different BSUs and community colleges, state universities, and Baptist colleges. And so at the BSU, as the director, we serve trying to reach our students with the gospel of Jesus Christ, serving our community well, and go around the world on mission. And so all of what we do, you're right, is service to God's kingdom in some way.
And speak to that, especially on a local level. Carey was a few weeks ago with the start of the school year, and you had the Hub Serve projects going out in the community. And just right out of the bat, you've got these students coming to William Carey, and you got boots on the ground already.
Yeah, so I've got to give a shout out to my mentor and former boss, Tim Glaze. He was the BSU director at William Carey for 26 years. I served under him as a graduate assistant and as an assistant director for 6 years. And Hub Serve, taking the name from Hub City, Hattiesburg is the Hub City, and taking service and putting them together as Hub Serve, that was an event that he did. Sometimes it was by trimester, sometimes it was annually, with BSU specifically, before we ever had an orientation event or Carey Wow. And when Carey Wow became its own thing back in 2014, I believe, was the first year. Okay. It's 2014, 2015.
Wow, really? It's been
we
long.
Created a multi-department Carey Wow event. So we have all kinds of departments that participate throughout the year to plan the orientation weekend. And so BSU takes a lead specifically in several areas, but one is Hub Serve. We brought Hub Serve into Carey Wow early on to say, hey, look, for 2 hours on Saturday morning, nothing else is going on. We're going to intentionally put our students in different places in our community to serve alongside people who, that's what they do every day, is community service in various ways. And so this year, if my count is right, we served with 12 different community service partners, sending out 14 teams to serve with them to provide a little bit of help, a little bit of extra muscle. We have 18 to 24-year-olds that are really energetic and can do a lot in 2 hours. And so we were able to partner with a lot of different people in our area.
I know I tried to get them to come to my house to mow. I thought that was a great idea, but no, that didn't happen because I had a little spark of genius there for a second, but no, that didn't cover it. But
hey, we might have found a way to work it out.
They did do just so many great things in the community. And this year, from what I understand, it's a record number of freshmen. So you have these new students that are coming in, wanting to go to William Carey for whatever area of academics they're going into, but to have that as their starting point, Called to Serve. That's huge.
Yeah, at our opening convocation, which is our first chapel, we have a weekly chapel on Wednesdays. In fact, it's going on right now. Tylen McSwain, one of our recruiters, is preaching right now for chapel. And the first chapel of the year is called Convocation. And faculty proceeds in regalia, and all the students are there. Everybody's packed into the auditorium. And Dr. Burnett says, please stand up if you are a first-time freshman. And you could noticeably see, it was a lot of people in our auditorium that were first-time freshmen, which is a really encouraging thing to see. In Mississippi, we have a great community college system, so a lot of students that end up at universities are transfer students. But this year, we have just a lot of freshmen, which is really cool to see. And
I've brought this up with Dr. Burnett since his taking over as president, that foundation as a Christian university, it's always been there, but it's been amplified to let people know we are a Christian university, considering that there are long-standing Christian universities that are backing away from that. They're letting the world conform them as opposed to not being conformed to this world. What response are you getting from students? Because I know, especially with our listeners, there's concerns about what's going on in the world. but I see what's happening at William Carey. I see a theme like this. I see just a huge number of freshmen coming into the school, and it gives me hope. And it seems like even the staff and everyone at William Carey, the world is changing, but William Carey's standing strong.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
It takes a lot of not just intentionality, but impact as you are trying to strategically create opportunities to allow specifically Christianity to come through, not just academics, not just activities, but trying to make it an all-encompassing thing. I would say, not to be partisan, but I'm a Baptist historian. I study church history. I think back to our namesake, William Carey, in India as they were forming Serampore College. I believe it founded in 1818.
Yeah.
One of the earliest examples of a Baptist college in an area that is not Christian by culture or nationality. One of the specific guidelines for the college was that they would admit any student. So part of being not just Christian, but I think specifically a Baptist Christian means that we are for religious freedom. And that means we admit anyone. It does not matter what your religion is, what your beliefs are, but we're very adamant and open about what our beliefs are as a institution that represents Jesus and represents what the Bible says and our Baptist identity. And so I think that's a winsome combination. We have students from all walks of life, all places in the world, all different belief systems that come to our campus, and we're sharing the gospel because we believe that the good news of Jesus Christ is the answer to every large problem in the world.
Right,
we believe that the gospel of Jesus Christ shines through that, and so we're trying to win people through persuasion and through just the goodness of what it's like to be on a campus that has certain expectations for how we treat one another and how we work with one another. And I've heard it time and again from people that are like, wow, when I got here, I grew up in a different city, I grew up in a different state, and I really thought people were just being fake nice to me. People were being too nice, you know. And they finally realized by about a year of being here, oh no, these people are pretty genuine. This is something different, you know. But it takes some time for people to kind of get over the shock of people being nice to them.
Yeah. So. Well, and I get that every time I go to that campus. I never went to William Carey. The only connection is through these interviews and the outreach that we've done. But every time I go to that campus, it's like, this is where I belong. It is one of the most welcoming places. But this year's theme for 2025-26, Called to Serve, again, inspired by Matthew 23:11 through 12. Landon Adams, director of the William Carey University Baptist Student Union. Again, thank you for taking the time out and actually coming to the studio. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. It's good to be here. It's good to see you face to face.
Yes.
You know, this is a whole different experience than being on the phone. So thank you again for letting me come.
Anytime. 9 AM edition continues. Stay with us.